And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're on the world, guys. And welcome to Let's Chat Live with Tina. It is Friday. It is nearly 1 o'clock. And yeah, the 9th day of January. So welcome to my live chat. Do you know, I've just looked out the window and I have just seen that my husband has taken my egg slice to clear the snow off the window. Would you believe that? He is so in trouble when he gets back in. So in trouble. But anyway, apart from that, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tina Willis and I am a digital business coach and mentor. And I am streaming today live on LinkedIn, my personal page, my business page. And I have been doing this now for 6 years, over 6 years. And I help others globally to change their lives through a legitimate online business platform like this. So hello to everybody who's watching. Hi, Palvinda. Hello to everybody who's watching. And please let me know where you're coming from. Let me know how your day is going. But it is Friday. It is Friday. I'll just make sure I'm plugged in okay. I've turned the notifications off. I've got my big mug of healthy tea here. And I've been coming on every day live now since the 1st of January, and the days have just flown, guys. And normally I come on a bit later, normally around 6 o'clock, but I thought I'd do, thank you so much, Palvinda. I thought I'd do a lunchtime one today because it is Friday, and Friday means wine day. So yeah, I thought I'd come on at lunchtime, just have a chat about all different things, to do with you, to do with all of us as human beings, to do with out with the old, in with the new, security or freedom, all different subjects I've talked about this week. And it's been really, really enjoyable for me. And I hope it's been enjoyable for you because it gives me a chance to do more go lives. It gives me a chance to connect with some amazing people. And that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm here to connect with you. And today I want to talk about this space. All right, the online space, and all about what I looked for when I was saying yes to this business. All right, because 6 years ago I'd been in corporate life, as you know, for over 25 years, climbing that corporate ladder. I'm going to have to get myself a new ring light. Climbing that corporate ladder, doing the things that were expected from me, and basically burning myself out in the same time, not having much time with my family, or little or no time with my family, booking holidays off. Thank you so much. Booking holidays off. My time wasn't mine. And I think many people globally feel like that. And this is about an honest conversation, guys, because I don't know about you, but when I think people look at me sometimes, they think that I've just, boom, come into this business, confident, put myself out there, but that wasn't me. Okay. I've just grown with this. And people might think I just jumped in blindly, not asking any questions, but I didn't. I was cautious, I was scared, I was fearful, I was doubtful even if I was capable of doing this. And I took my time to decide, I didn't just jump in, but I looked for a lot of things before I said yes to this. Okay. Hi, Ghana. And the first thing, and this might help anybody who's maybe sitting on the fence and who's a bit cautious, who's still waiting, who's maybe still watching me secretly, because that's what we do. We tend to always sit in the background when we're looking for something, not saying anything, just listening. Are they trustworthy? Are they credible? Are they real? Is this a robot? All those questions that go through your mind. And I have. Hi, Ghana. I have actually been accused, would you believe, when I've been live, of being AI robot. I don't get that, but yeah, okay, I realize there's so much out there, but I have been accused of not being real. But trust me, guys, pinch myself out. Yes, I'm real. But when I started this, I actually, at the time, wasn't looking for an online business, but I was looking for something. I was looking for something to get me away from the corporate rat race. I was looking at something that would give me that time freedom that would enable me to travel more, that would allow me to have time with my family and live on my terms and my schedule, and not to be so tired all the time. Thank you so much, Ghana. I truly appreciate that. Hi, MJ and Ali. Thank you for watching. But when I found this, and it was, some of you might have heard this story before, but it was by a fluke, all right? Because I was at that stage in my life where I was ill with corporate life. I was burnt out. I wasn't me. I'd lost my identity, which I've talked about before, which wasn't a good place back then. And I remember we were watching the football one night. And I apologize if you heard this before, but we were watching the football one night. And you know what men are like with football, don't we, ladies? Once they're watching it, they're focused. They're not having anybody interrupt them. And I'm just literally scrolling through social media. And I came across an ad. And bear in mind, I would never sign up for anything on social media, ever. I was the person that was just scrolling, seeing what the people were up to, saying hello, happy birthday, liking, loving, all different posts. And I saw an ad that shared this opportunity. And something in it hit me. But I scrolled through. And then I kept scrolling back. And then I kept scrolling through. And in the end, I thought, it's a free webinar. Why don't I just bite the bullet and do it? But I'm going like this to my hubby. Do you think I should do this? Do you think I should sign up for this? And he's focused on football. And I said, come on, do you think I should watch this? And in the end, he just went, yeah, just sign up for it. Just sign up for it, And that was it. So I did. Okay. And I always thank him, even though the next day he didn't even remember saying it to me because he was too interested in the football. I signed up for that free webinar. And when I watched it, I was like, is this real? I was listening to everything. I was watching everything. Thank you, Ghana. Thank you so much. I was watching everything. I was thinking, is this real? So the first thing I was looking for was credibility. Okay. I was looking for something that was assuring me that it wasn't any flashy promises or get rich quick schemes or anything like that, because I knew, I wasn't soft. I knew there's no such thing as a get rich quick scheme, absolutely not. And I wanted the credibility. I wanted something when I watched it to know that it was legitimate. I wanted to know that it'd been around for some years. I wanted to know there were real people with real results. I wanted transparency, I wanted proof that the system worked, not pressure, not somebody really having, pushing me all the time. I didn't want that. I didn't want the double glazed salesman, because I'd had that all my life. I was doing that, I was in that industry that was sell. So I didn't want that anymore. And I thought to myself, no, I just want clarity. And when I investigated it, because that's what I did, I tore down those walls. I actually stalked every person in there. Hi, Suresh. I actually stalked everybody on there. I watched the webinar again and realized it was different people the next time. I thought, oh, okay. I stalked them. I looked through everything, and then I took the leap of faith and I took the next step of $149 because I thought to myself, well, you know what? I'd pay 125 quid in our money in English currency to go for a meal. And if this is something that can actually change my life, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And the rest is history. But what I also wanted from this was support. Okay. Because I knew this much. I didn't want to be in that Groundhog Day again. I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted reassurance because I didn't know what I was doing, what it was really all about. But I knew that I wanted coaching and mentorship. I wanted guidance. I wanted people who actually supported me and not the dog eat dog rat race that I was in. I didn't want that climbing the ladder situation. I wanted something totally different. And I wasn't looking to know it all when I went in there, but I wanted to know and have the reassurance that this was real, that this would get me where I wanted to be. I wasn't even bothered how long it would take, but I knew that it was going to be my plan B that would become my plan A, but it was down to me, and I was looking to learn from people who'd already done it, because success always leaves footprints. And that mattered to me more than anything. Okay. But you know what? What I found was so much more. What I found was a proven system. I didn't have to rely on luck. I didn't have to reinvent something. It was smooth. It was clear. It was structured. There was automation in the background working all the time with my sales funnel and my lead generation, all that. There was a clear process, step by step, that I was following, and it was something I could build alongside having a real life. And you notice what I said there? Build alongside having a real life. It wasn't something to build alongside my corporate career, because I wanted out of my corporate career. I wanted out of that toxic environment and that rat race, but I wanted something where I could build a business that would actually fit into my life, not the other way around. A business that would support my life. Sorry, phone's going off there. A business that would support my life, not consume it. Okay. And I finally wanted that alignment as well. I wanted to know that it felt right for me. I wanted to know that it would match the life I wanted, because that was so important. And that was the whole point. That was the whole point of doing this business. Did it allow me growth? Did it allow me growth financially and personally? Because even the best opportunity is not going to work if it doesn't align with the person that you want to become. See what I mean there? And let me know in the chat, guys, because I'm on a roll now. Can you tell? I am on a roll. And I wanted to tick those boxes because I knew, not because there was no fear, because trust me, there was fear. Trust me, I had niggles of doubt and worry. Hi, Natasha. Niggles of doubt and worry in my mind. Of course I did. But I wanted to know I could tick the boxes off of everything for this business that would fit with my life. And I knew I had the clarity that it would. 100%, and when I look back those 6 years ago when I took this step, and when I look back when I started to the person I am now, I have changed. I'm not that same person. But you know what's happened? I've ticked every box. I've ticked every single box of what my plan was, what I wanted, the alignment I had, the structure I've got, the business I've got, the life I've got, and I ticked everything off. So if you're curious about this, guys, because there'll be a lot of you who are sitting on the fence, who are waiting there, who are looking, who are wondering, and it was quite strange. Yeah, it's true, Natasha. It ticks every box. But it was quite strange the other day. A lady said to me, because I've got an ad running in the UK, and I had a comment on one of the posts. Really nice lady who I reached out to, and she said something about, oh, not another webinar. I can't watch. And I look 20 years younger. Oh, I love you, Natasha. And she went, I can't be doing with another webinar. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I get it. But here's the fact that initial webinar is to give you an overview of what this business is. It's not to explain it in depth, because if we tried to explain this business in depth, I'd be here longer than this 14-minute live. I'd be longer than the 24 hours. It would take weeks to actually explain it, to actually go through everything. And would you still understand it without that video-based training? No, absolutely not. And that's why I said to her, that webinar is crucial. No matter which webinar it is or which business you're looking at, that webinar is crucial for you to understand. And if you're not prepared to look at a webinar, to review a webinar, then this isn't for you. If you have a huge why to change your life, then this is for you. And if you're prepared to investigate it for yourself, to watch a 20-minute webinar or a 90-minute live one, which we have as well. If you're prepared to do those two things first, then pay that $149 US, which is risk-free, because if it's not for you, you get it back within 30 days. If you're prepared to do all that, to change something in your life, then you do it. But if you feel that it's not for you, that's fine, because it's not for everybody. But if you have a huge why in this life, in the situation you're in, like I did 6 years ago, like many who are watching today did, then that's why we do it. Hi, Aisa. That's why we do it. And this business is changing lives globally. People are paying off mortgages. People are staying at home with their kids and their babies. People are traveling the world. People are talking about mindset globally on stage and conferences like me. Never thought I'd do that 6 years ago. I wasn't that person back then. I was frightened to show my face. But this is how this business develops us. And we gain an income from it. We gain financial freedom. We gain time freedom. And that is what's so important. So if you're asking the questions I once asked, that's why I invite you to connect with me. No pressure. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to be honest with you. So message 2026 in the chat or direct message me if you want to talk about what I do. And I'll walk you through exactly what it is. All right, how it works and whether it's right for you. Because good decisions aren't rushed. All right, they're informed decisions. All right, you're allowed to be curious. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to choose wisely. And you're allowed to be skeptical. Skepticism is good until it's not. Until you don't tear the walls down off that skepticism to see what's really behind it, So thank you so much for being here. Okay, I'm just going to pull my husband in a minute for using my egg slice to clean the car, the ice off the car. But anyway, that's another story. There will be pictures posted later because he doesn't realize I've got a few sneaky pictures of him. So yes, thank you all for being here. Have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous Friday. It's going to be an amazing day. Great things are happening today. And I will see you tomorrow for day 10 of January Go Live. Haven't decided what I'm talking about yet, but I will do later. So have a fabulous, fabulous day. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.